Meet Larry. While watching this video, describe Larry's disability as well as his strengths. What job did Larry perform, and what characteristics made it a great job match? What impact did Larry's job have on his quality of life? What support did Larry receive from his coworkers and his job coach? Enjoy this video profile of Larry.
My name is Larry Callahan. I work at an entertainment company in Verona, Wisconsin. I work as a processor. I put together kits that are used by teachers that work with special education people.
The area that Larry works in is important because as parts and pieces are processed, they go into products, and if that's not done correctly, people are getting products that aren't what they want or aren't the quality they should be. As a worker, he's accurate and very dependable.
Ellen Bauer is my job counselor.
Larry is capable of doing a lot of things.
Ellen's job is to help people like myself find jobs.
What are you working on today?
I'm finding.
One of the things I found is not to assume that he can't do something, but to believe that he can do something.
She just periodically checks up on me and see how I'm doing.
That's good. That's good.
A lot of times I see Larry outside of work because that seems to be a place where he's able to talk more freely.
Sister, right?
Yes.
Is she the oldest?
And that's where I come in. It's the emotional support. Larry is happiest at work when things are nice and quiet at home. He has a lot of support from his family.
Every once in a while a door closes, but then eventually we find another door and we open it. Larry was brain damaged at birth. He has a problem with math. But yet he's got a memory, fantastic memory. He has to go at his own pace, although he's very meticulous in what he does. Larry has an excellent sense of humor. He loves books, he loves reading. Very much a movie buff, loves old movies.
My man Godfrey, Gone with the Wind, The Wizard of Oz.
After Larry graduated from high school in 1979, he was placed with MLC.
MLC stands for Madison Opportunity Center. It's a sheltered workshop.
And through MLC, he was placed with the Madison Public Library System, and he worked part-time at the South Park branch. And then when the funding for that program was lost, that's when he then stayed home for 2 years and kind of vegetated. It got so he just sat around the house in his pajamas. We couldn't get him to shave. He wouldn't go anywhere. We couldn't get him to do anything because he had nothing going on in his life. There was no reason for him to. So he almost became like a hermit. That made us really concerned. Then we decided that he needed to get back into some kind of job, even if it was volunteer.
And then I did volunteer work at the South Madison Branch Library. And then I did some volunteer work at the Senior Center in Oregon.
And he volunteered for 3 or 4 years.
But then I eventually ended up getting the job at attainment through WRC, which stands for Work in Rural Communities. And they helped me.
Larry wasn't real happy at attainment when he first started there.
It took me a little while to get used to being at work for the first time in a couple years.
That anxiety showed itself in a lot of talking to himself, rocking back and forth, not focusing on his job, and becoming fairly disruptive in his work environment.
That was probably the thing that would have threatened his early employment here.
My counselor at that time was Sharon Red Bill Cooper.
She found that her presence there helped him to remain calm and able to focus on his work.
Yeah, there are job counselors that can help you.
Well, since then, he's picked up another day, now works 3 days a week.
He's gone from you know, being only minimally productive without really any connection to anybody he's worked with, to being a real co-worker to the people he works with, and being quite independent in what he does.
When Attainment Company was in Larry's home community, he was able to walk to and from work.
When the Attainment Company moved to our present location, we needed to find some way for Larry to come to work, and the agency he worked with actually did most of the work there.
For a while, we provided transportation for Larry. Then we shared their transportation responsibilities with Larry's sisters. And then we were able to locate a private transportation provider.
One of the options was to try to find a co-worker who'd be willing to give him a ride to and from work with some reimbursement.
And now I ride with one of my co-workers, Tom Kinney.
It's worked out wonderfully. We keep each other company in the morning, otherwise I was driving alone before that, and it's about a 15-mile drive every morning.
I think it's working out terrific.
We have a good time discussing things like our favorite movies and television shows, a chance to talk and have fun together. Larry has started mooing at the cows, and so I've also mooed at the cows with Larry.
I actually enjoy riding with Tom better.
Carpooling is certainly a more normalized way of transportation. His periods of anxiety seem to have diminished since those rides have started.
Our experience with Larry here has changed my opinions somewhat about supported employment, both because he's become more productive than I expected him to be originally, but also I think his working here has benefited him in more ways than I thought it would.
Well, one thing I like about this is that I get a nice paycheck. It's helped me become more independent. I think I've done more socializing since I've been with Attainment. And it also keeps me from having to watch the same crummy old soap operas all the time.
What? One lousy fry?
I work on some of the videos that are produced by Attainment.
My bunion is killing me! Excuse me, sir. Are you having trouble?
Wild. Kind of a wild experience.
Working with Larry, I can only describe as wild.
Larry, make love to the camera with your eyes. Ready?
All right, enough, not that kind of love. Larry has such an incredible interest and knowledge of films and TV programs that it just was such a beautiful, natural thing for him to star in some of ours. His first one, he played basically Mr. Whipple.
Lady, please don't squeeze the toilet paper.
I'm sorry.
It just was a natural to cast him as a movie critic.
Next, a movie that many say should never, ever have been made.
And he's a harsh reviewer, and he's reviewing one of the worst movies ever made.
Rocco, I'm gonna clean your clock.
He pans it. He gives it the worst rating it could get.
Where do I begin with a movie this terrible? 3 thumbs down.
Larry's got one of these rolling laughs. Ready? Stand by. Once Larry gets laughing, you might as well just go home.
Yeah, I feel like Steve Allen, that one skit that he did.
And it's just been a blast to work with him.
Okay, cut. That was good.
Getting him back out into the workforce was the best thing that ever happened to him. It's really been good for him.
Smile, you're on candid camera.